Hey there moviegoers, this is El Movie Master, and today I'm going to be sharing my horror DVD collection. Originally I was going to share the entire movie collection, but that would take a long time. I have a lot of movies, as you can see. Over here I have box sets. Here I have animated and Disney movies. And of course it goes all the way up to down there. And I have two sections. There's a section all the way over there with just pretty much about the same amount of movies. And then I have a section all the way over there, but you can't really see it. The way the movies are organized, it's by alphabetical order and by genre. So for example, this is all Disney and animated movies. Starts in A over there and ends all the way over here with Scooby-Doo. So if there was a movie that ends with Z, it would be here, but I only have up to S in terms of animated movies. And I also have movies like stuck in between here. Like if I couldn't fit them elsewhere, I just put them in here. But for the most part, they are in their order. For example, The Simpsons is with The Simpsons. So let's start with horror. The first movie I have here is The Awakening. Got this movie relatively recently. I don't know much about it. I picked it up mainly, to be honest with you, for the slipcover. Slipcover called my attention. It was nice and shiny. I know it's a marketing tactic, but I don't know much about it. If anybody knows if it's a good or bad movie, please let me know in the comments below. So yeah. Next one up, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Saw this one in theaters. It was alright. It wasn't bad. A lot of people were complaining about it. I mean, if you wanted a really historical movie, go watch the Steven Spielberg movie Lincoln. This is just, a vampire-themed film, so it wasn't that bad, Next one, The Apparition. Sorry about that. This one, I'll be honest with you, this one's a pretty bad movie. It's super short, only runs, I'll tell you how much it runs, 82 minutes. And the first hour and 10 minutes, nothing really happens in the movie. It tries really, really hard to be a paranormal activity movie. And I really don't like the paranormal activity movies, to be frank. So I picked it up, again, for the cover. It looked really cool. And the trailer was pretty good, too. The trailer is actually a lot better than the actual movie. So more than likely, I'll be getting rid of this one. Usually, I try to watch movies twice to make a good judgment on them. And even though this movie was just so bad, I'll give it one last chance before I get rid of it. So let's put that back over here. In the meantime, next one, American Psycho. Great horror movie. It's a mixture, in my opinion, of horror and satirical comedy. It's kind of like a staple on 80s yuppies, Christian Bale did a great performance on the role of Patrick Bateman. It was really over the top, but it was just really, really great. Hopefully they'll release another Blu-ray, because this Blu-ray isn't that much great from the DVD that was released a couple of years before it. So it brings the uncut version. As you can see, it's the uncut version. But the picture quality for a Blu-ray, not that great. And next one, American Psycho 2. Not a good sequel. I really don't consider this a sequel to American Psycho. It's a standalone film. Even though they mentioned Patrick Bateman, this movie is not a sequel to American Psycho. It kind of contradicts everything that happened in the first film. And I got it mainly because of Mila Kunis. She's freaking beautiful. The movie's a lot shorter than the first one, and to be honest with you, it's more a comedy than it is a horror movie. It has William Shatner in it. I couldn't take the movie seriously. So if you watch it as a standalone film. Ignore that it belongs to the original American Psycho, even though it says American Psycho 2. So yeah. Next one up, Anaconda on Blu-ray. This movie hasn't stood up well with time. It's not a good movie. I don't know why I still have it, especially on Blu-ray. thinking about it, J-Lo hasn't had that many good movies. I think the only movie that I like from her is probably Angel Eyes. Angel Eyes and Enough. Those are the only two movies that, I mean, they're not great, but for Jennifer Lopez, you know, that's saying a lot. For Jennifer Lopez, it's like an okay movie. But Anaconda, it's just a big snake trying to eat people. You know, I know you're gonna say, what are you expecting? It's a movie titled Anaconda, but the picture quality on the movie is great. It's pretty good. The CGI hasn't stood up well, so John Voight doesn't do a good job interpreting a Brazilian guy. I think he's playing a Brazilian guy in the movie. Did not do a not do a good job at all. The movie was followed by a sequel, Anacondas, and it had a subtitle, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. To be honest, the sequel was actually better than the first one. There's a lot more twists and turns, there was a little bit more character development, and by character development, I don't mean much, like it's pretty generic, but at least they did a little bit better job with the writing. So, and there was a little bit more suspense, it wasn't as predictable as the first one. It was followed by two more sequels, which I've seen. The third one had David Hasselhoff, and the fourth one had a couple of other actors, you know, straight to video actors, people who, you know, usually appear in Sci-Fi Channel movies. And they're actually shown on the Sci-Fi Channel. Avoid them, they're horrible. It makes the first two look like masterpieces. Next one up, April Fool's Day. Pretty cool 80s horror movie. This is the remake. Haven't seen the remake though. Got it from Blockbuster a couple of years back. Stephen King's Bag of Bones. Really cool miniseries starring Pierce Brosnan. A lot of people panned it, but it's pretty good. I liked it. Below. Haven't seen this one in a long time, but from what I remember, it was about a submarine with a crew members on the ship, and they're being haunted by some weird ghosts. From what I remember, I liked it. Have to watch it again. And here we have The Beyond. This is a great horror movie. A bit slow for some people, but I kind of felt the same way when I first saw it a couple of years back. But rewatching it over the years, it's a pretty good horror movie. A lot of good effects. The Blob with Steve McQueen. It's really cheesy. If you haven't seen this movie, you should watch it. It's just for the cheesiness. It's literally a blob attacking people. This movie is actually available in a Criterion edition. I don't know if I will ever pick that up, but you know. It was followed by a remake. The remake is really good. This is a period remake, and it's actually a really creepy movie. A lot of cool gore effects. Next one up, Black Death. This movie's amazing. I don't just say it because of the slipcover, even though the slipcover is pretty cool, but this movie's great. If you haven't seen it, watch it. All I'll tell you, it has to do with witchcraft, and I thought it was really cool, really realistic stuff. Many people put this in their, you know, epic war section, but I put this in horror because it's really creepy. Definitely a must-watch. And the ending, I'm not going to ruin it. Great twist. Next one up, Basket Case. Great cheesy horror movie. It was followed by two sequels. I don't own the sequels, I've never seen them, and they're actually out of print. But if you haven't seen this one, watch it. Another movie from the same director, Brain Damage. From what I remember, it had the same tone as Basket Case. Really bizarre in some scenes. Next one, The Brood. Really cool. It's from David Cronenberg. I think it's in my opinion, David Cronenberg's second best movie. First one has to be The Fly. This one, it's more of a psychological film. It does have its horror elements, but it's more of a psychological thriller. I'll try to go a little faster here. Butterfly Effect. Kind of more fantasy sci-fi than horror, but it does have its horror elements. Cool movie. Yeah. Butterfly Effect 2. Not as good as the first one, but you know, it's alright. lot of people give it a bad rap, but it's decent. So let's go more over here. Behind the Mask. Just recently acquired this one. Haven't seen it yet. Brain Scan. Also got it recently. Haven't seen it. Got it mainly for Edward Furlong. My Bloody Valentine 3D. Still haven't seen this one after so many years in my collection. That's what happens. Sometimes I buy a movie and I just have it there for a couple of years and never end up watching it. And the same thing with the original. I ended up buying the first two when they came out on DVD and Blu-ray. So I haven't seen neither the remake nor the original. Cabin in the Woods. Has a pretty cool lenticular cover. This movie apparently had a troubled production. Like, it was shot back in 2010 and it wasn't released until 2012. I definitely recommend this. One of the better horror movies of the past decade. Hate when some of the movies just don't want to go in. Next one up, Candyman. Great horror movie. Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh. Candyman 3, Day of the Dead. Probably the weakest one in the franchise. Cape Fear. Cape Fear, the remake with Robert De Niro. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Cannibal Apocalypse. Now this one's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of bizarre in some scenes, and the whole story is John Saxon plays this guy who was in Vietnam, and they were stuck in this, I think it was like a cave or something, him and his crew, and they had to survive eating human flesh. So apparently once you eat flesh, you're gonna crave it again. So that's what the movie says. It's kind of cheesy, but I like the fact that it was, kind of relentless, like it went all out. So, and funny, relentless action. Cannibal Holocaust. Really creepy movie. Kind of feels too real in some scenes. Captivity. This one wasn't too good. It was released during the time when they had those movies, Saw and Hostel. Probably the weakest one of them all is Captivity. This is a Carrie triple feature. Brings Carrie, The Rage, Carrie 2, and the Carrie TV version. Never seen the TV version, but I have seen the first two. And when you come to think about it, the sequel is not really a sequel. It's just kind of like a remake, in my opinion. Cemetery Man. Haven't seen this one yet. Heard a lot of good stuff about it. I heard about this movie through Cool Duder and What Movie One. So yeah. Oh, I have another movie here that, damn, gotta find the cover for this movie. It usually never happens, but anyway. Christine. Great John Carpenter movie. The Changeling. Haven't seen this one yet. Got this at an FYE store that was closing down. Chernobyl Diaries. Children of the Corn Blu-ray. Try to stick only to the first one. The first one's the best one. I only got the sequels because it was so cheap at Walmart. It was like $5 for like 6 movies. So, and there's also a TV version which was made for the Sci-Fi Channel. And even though it was made for the Sci-Fi Channel, it wasn't that bad. It was all right. And then you have Children of the Corn, Genesis, Child's Play, Chucky's 20th birthday edition. This is the best version, in my opinion. It has a widescreen transfer. The one before it was just full screen. So yeah. Child's Play 2. Child's Play 3. To me, this is where the Chucky movies ended. I have the other sequels just for having them in the collection, but try to stay away from these two. Bride and Seed. Have over here Chud. Haven't seen this one yet. Cloverfield. I didn't like it much, to be honest with you, but I have it in my collection. Creepshow. Great horror anthology. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It has that kind of Tales from the Crypt tone. I have here Creepshow 2. This is the DivMax Anchor Bay edition. Really cool cover. And then I have the really shitty Creepshow 3. I only have it because it's part of the series. But this was made for like the Sci-Fi channel, I think. Not really good. Constantine. I have here Cujo, Cursed, The Crazies, Carnival of Souls, the original, and the remake. Haven't seen the remake yet. I saw it in What Movie Once channel, so I picked it up. Daybreakers, Drag Me to Hell, Dream House, Devil's Advocate, Dog Soldiers, The Evil Dead trilogy on Blu-ray. I also have them over here, the Ultimate Edition. And I also have over here this version, which brings the Director's Cut, the Boomstick Edition. And over here I have 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, Raiders of the Living Dead. This movie is really weird, man. They have like 3 versions in one. Like here they have, it's called Raiders of the Living Dead, but apparently there's 3 versions. It was originally called, from what I remember, it was originally called Dark Knight. Then they changed it to Raiders of the Living Dead, and then they changed it to Dying Day. I only saw one version, and it was just absurdly bad, but I just have it because of the cover. Probably gonna get rid of it soon. City of the Living Dead, Hell of the Living Dead, City of the Living Dead, Tombs of the Blind Dead. These are all Italian horror zombie movies. A Virgin Among the Living Dead. This movie has nothing to do with zombies. Cool cover though, to be honest with you. Let me show it to you. I'm in a bad position here, so I'm having a hard time getting the movies. Really cool cover, but the movie has nothing to do with zombies. Return of the Living Dead 1, 2, and 3. Really cool movies. Try to stay away from the sequels, Necropolis and Rave to the Grave. Night of the Living Dead 30th Anniversary. I have it because it was a gift. Try to stay away from that edition. Try to get this one that was released to Dimension Home Video. Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival. And Survival's horrible. Stay away from it. Just as Diary is not that great either. Night of the Living Dead, the remake, and Dawn of the Dead, the remake. Great, great remake. So this is the end of this section. I'm going to try to cover the rest in the next video. Stay tuned for section 2.